Jaguar team. They come in playing some decent football, 5-3 in their last 8 games. Meanwhile, for the visiting Redskins, they've been flawless all year long as they hit the home stretch at 13-0.
And now they just have to guard against complacency. You still got to go out and earn it every week.
On the return, here's Justin Hardy. And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. The first carry for the rookie, it's Darius Geis. North of 100 yards, the 2 scores. And, you got to give a lot of credit to the O-line. We talked a lot about him, but offensive line was good, too.
They're obviously in sync with each other, whether it's zone blocking, power running game, no matter what. He understands how to read them and find the creases that they provide.
He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beat. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. To throw is Smith, eluding the pressure right. Even after more than a decade in the league, Smith still one to account for with his legs as he picks up a first.
I'm not sure he falls under the category of mobile quarterback, but he's athletic enough that if you don't keep your rush lanes intact, he finds a way to hurt you.
As coaches like to say, I wouldn't call him a burner, but enough there in the tank. On first down, this is Geis. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. Excellent effort defensively by him. 2 tackles for a loss last week, now 1 here in the first quarter.
He's an absolute disruptor, isn't he? And I think most offenses would love to go against guys who just want to hold the point of attack and try and keep things clean for their linebackers. But when they make those moves and they can get upfield.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. A.J. Boye with a pick. And a terrific return as he'll take it up past the 35. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. Here's Leonard Fournette, 1,000-yard rusher from a year ago. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. The rushing numbers for Fournette from last week. 18 carries, 62 yards, and a touchdown.
And they love what they've got in him. He's the number 4 rusher in the league right now, so you know that you have to account for him on defense, which means you can play complementary football as well. Throw the play action, get it out to the wide receivers, because they should have some open space because the defense will key on them.
Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
And that's caught inside the 35. That goes as a gain of 36 on 3rd down.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around to make a play on the football.
Now a play fake here on first down. Looking middle, and it's incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Bortles on the give to Fournette. And only a yard this time as he's taken down right around the 26.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
He dropped it. Couldn't hang on in the end zone. So no 6 points, incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. And Lambeau will put this one through, and the Jaguars grab a 3-0 lead. So pretty good opening drive. That'll make the home fans somewhat happy. They wanted 6, but they got 3 in the early lead.
And they should be happy. The guys look good getting down the field. That's got to give them a little bit of hope that good things are in store here today for them.
A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback when he delivers the ball.
And that is caught one-handed. Oh, my, he pulled it in. Big yardage that time for the Redskins. 54 yards. And they better put that ball to the side because with that catch, he's a new single-season receiving yards record holder.
What a fantastic year. And we saw it start early, didn't we, partner? Right out of the gate. We knew he was going to have a tremendous year, but who knew it will culminate in breaking this all-time record.
It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL, so when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace. Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again, they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
Smith on 3rd down. Jordan Reed has it. And he picks up the first as he's able to take it down to the 7-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And that one was a lot of fun right there because that was the game within the game. 3rd and short, blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in
trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12. So they get pushed back to the 11, and here's 2nd and goal. Throwing is Smith. Able to get away. And the pressure gets to him again. Dante Fowler in there to get him. And this pass rush strong now. That sacks on back-to-back plays. Now Smith on 3rd and goal. And that is incomplete. The linebacker, Miles Jack, able to knock that one away.
Miles Jack can just flat out cover. Doesn't matter who's out there, and he can do it really well in man. How about what he just did there in zone, though? Eyes in the right place, saw where the ball was going, reacted appropriately, and knocked it away.
So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
Bortles leads the Jags up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. A fake to Fournette. Now it's Bortles to throw. He's going to let this one go. He's got him in. Complete. And they finally get him, but not before he reaches the 33-yard line.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Alongside the former defensive back Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Jaguar football as we begin quarter number 2, and they've got it here with a 1st down. A handoff to Fournette, and that play went nowhere. Losing yardage It'll be back at the 36. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
That catch good for 5. It's third down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can right foot in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal. So the defense blitzed. A nice job picking that up, completing the pass.
And how in sync was the quarterback in his center on that play? They saw the blitz, made the appropriate calls, got the...
And that is caught. Touchdown, Jacksonville. James O'Shaughnessy, his first touchdown on the year. And the Jags are able to cash in for 6. Sometimes, and it's blocked. Here's Lambeau out to kick this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful. Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack. Yannick Ngakoue in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect. And he took the contact as he was throwing it, and the ball drops incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying...
And they're going to fake it from deep in their own territory. And this is caught. And the fake will work. He's going to have a first down. A big breakdown defensively there on the fake punt. Turns into a huge play and a first down. And I don't know what the method is to know when to dial up a fake punt, when not to. Whatever the method there, it worked for him.
I think you actually did explain it. There is no method. It's just a feel, a sense, and a healthy dose of guts in order to call that play in that situation.
Element of surprise, I guess, right?
Yeah, element of surprise and just a strong belief that, hey, we're going to get it done.
From the 50, it's Smith. Now he's going to let it go deep left side. And this is taken in for a Redskins touchdown. Paul Richardson with his 16th touchdown of the year. And the Redskins have tied it here. The extra point to come can put him in the driver's seat. That's an early touchdown grab for last week's NFC Offensive Player of the Week. He was so electric, and they talked about it all week long. Have to try to contain him.
And now for him, being able to focus on the task at hand and not just immediately assume that last week it totally carries over, but you got to like the start that he has, showing those great hands that we've seen from him throughout.
And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. Bortles leads the Jags up 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. They'll start out on the ground. It's Leonard Fournette. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping Those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On second down, here's Fournette. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 10 yards there, good enough for a Jags first down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
What a nice read and play by the defensive tackle. Never bought the play-action fake. Went right for the quarterback and put him on the ground.
So following the sack, they'll try to change their fortune here on 2nd and 13. Here's a give to Fournette. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Partner, you mind if I take off this headset and put on a coaching headset?
You want to get this running game going?
I want to get this running game going. I'm going down there and saying, gentlemen, we have got to run the football. We've got to get it going.
And he is going to be hit and taken down. Bortles sacked. Ryan Kerrigan in there to take him down and to take us to the 2-minute warning. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Out comes the Redskin offense now as they get set to begin another possession. Last time they were out here, they had the benefit of good field position, led to a touchdown. This time, they're going to have to work for it.
They are, but with that last drive that culminated in a touchdown, I think they care.
And this will be caught at the 30. A huge play there for Washington. 52 yards.
That's a big-time pitch and catch right there. And, partner, I remember the days when quarterbacks would try this. They were holding their breath. But nowadays, they're counting on their receiver to be just a little bit better than the defensive back when it's one-on-one and the ball's in the air like that.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because when they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
Buying time to his left. He may try and run for this. And down inside the 15 he goes. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble. From the red zone now, Smith being chased out left. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard. Now before this 2nd down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. On 2nd down, here's Smith. And he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. And on 3rd and inches, we're going to get a whistle and a timeout as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Smith. Flush it. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. And now the Jags defense deciding to call a timeout as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. And it's complete. They're going to get the first. And unable to break away. They stop him a few yards shy. They pass up the 3, fake it. It doesn't work.
All right, Mr. Fantasy Champion. We just saw him fake a field goal, and the kicker has the opportunity to throw a pass. He completed it, but not for a first down. Does anyone get any points for that?
No, he just gets some pride going back to the sideline saying he completed a pass as the kicker. But the big thing here is they didn't get enough for the first. And now, due to apparent time constraints, We fast forward to the beginning of the second half. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. Now the return, Rashad Green. Out come the Jaguars now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works? He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 38, and his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Down right around the 25. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to third down. They'll try and get it with Geis, and he will have the first before he's brought down right on the chalk of the 20. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. They go play action here on first down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. It's a good gain of 11, sets him up first and goal. Well, there's your leading receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage, putting on another clinic, well over 100 yards.
Are we taking notes? We should be, right? Because I'm going to go back and watch this tape and really enjoy what I'm seeing. The route running, competing for the football, just breaking down a defense.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well.
Get your backs to the goal line. I can hear my high school coach right now. This is when force meets force. Got to be physical in order to win this battle.
Yeah, that's where the physicality pays off. A nice job for him. In trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12. Malik Jackson in there to get him, and that is sack number 15 for him on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Well, looking at it from a defensive perspective, that keeps the deficit very, very manageable. You know, all things considered, not a bad job on the defensive side.
I would say that you pointed out something pretty good right there, and that is you actually have both sides happy with that exchange. You know, happy in quotes, of course. One team, hey, we kept it within range. The other side saying, hey, we put points on the board and did stretch out the lead. Let's see how this one turns out.
Yeah, still bottom line, though, 3 points for the opening drive of the third quarter. Here comes Blake Bortles now to lead his offense back out there. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, he did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
So this helps to start a drive. After the penalty, it'll be 1st and 5.
380.
After the penalty, it's Fournette. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. Give the tackle there to Josh Norman. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe it'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 23 yards on the play.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players. Somehow came up with football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes. Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be third down. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height, sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there. If he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw. Now, that's absolutely frustrating for a defender. Had a chance to get him on the ground before he got to the sideline, but what great vision and understanding where he is on the field as he headed for the bunker and picked up the first down.
Lee's got it over the middle and brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. First down, Jacksonville. The passing game looking sharp on this drive for the Jags.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball in.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Ryan Kerrigan in there to get him, and that's sack number 12 for him on the year. Chalk that up as their first sack in this game, and they tallied 4 a week ago.
And probably not as much exultation in that sack as what took us so long. Because when you get through the previous week, you're counting on continuing that momentum. They didn't get that done in the first half of the game. Let's see now if they start to bring even more exotic pressure towards the quarterback. It seemed like the situation was second and a mile to go for a first down, which screams what? Throw the football. You got to pass in order to try and pick up that kind of yardage. But in this case, they ran a tendency breaker, because the tendency is for defenses to be out there and be set up for a pass. So you break tendency and actually run the football. That changes everything, because if you're able to find a crease, you often have bigger guys working against smaller guys downfield. They picked up excellent yardage there to bring up a third down.
Back now in Jacksonville. It's Jaguar football, but a little work to do for them. They trail here as we start the fourth. And Lambeau will put this one through, and that'll bring him back within a point. So with that field goal, this one's now back within a field goal. Maybe not the ultimate result they wanted, but gets them that much closer.
This game is unfolding like a really good book, isn't it? Because I feel like there's a few more plot twists yet to be revealed before this one is over.
And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. I think you'd have to say defensively, these guys are doing their job pretty well, right?
Yeah, we talked about them holding them under 20 points, right, on defense. And they've done that. They've held them. The problem is their own offense hasn't answered their challenge, which was to score more.
Yeah, exactly. I remember you saying magic number was right around 20, and the offense has been the issue. You're right. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Here's Geis. There's some nifty running there. Ultimately, it doesn't get him a whole lot, but it does take him to the 45. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. So the solid run on first, and I would imagine no real hurry to run that second down play.
No, it's all in your quarterback now. He's going to keep an eye on the play clock and bleed things down, and he's not going to let the ball be snapped until it's inside 3 seconds left on the play clock. Unless, of course, you're playing a video game, you're trying to run it up on your friend.
Nice touch. Cold-blooded, too. Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
I think he's taking an awful chance with the football right there. You've got to lead, you've got to protect it, and he's taking chances putting it out there in a little bit of jeopardy.
Especially in a spot like this, fourth quarter, as you said, trying to cling to that advantage. He's got it at the 15. A gain of 39 that time. So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. Back to the ground game now with Geis. And able to surge forward for about 5 yards down to the 10. Good gain there on first down. It keeps them in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge.
And he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown. Darius Geis with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Redskins find a way to stretch their lead. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I've never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
First play of the drive in their hip pocket. Of course, the focus here has to be the touchdown of the two-point conversion. Field goals aren't going to help you.
Yeah, but how about that first play of the drive? Just to get them started, nice game, got some positive momentum going. They're on their way, and they don't have to rush.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
He can't avoid the pressure. Redskins get there. Ryan Kerrigan in there to drop him, and his great season continues. 13 sacks for him now on the year. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out, you see, and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
They start on the ground with Geis. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on second down. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And they went for a big play through the air on second down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd.
Well, the obvious goal is to try and score a touchdown, but at the least, adding to a pretty big yardage total for his intended receiver there, huh?
Yeah, well, when you've got a guy over 150 yards, keep chucking it deep to him, I guess.
Yeah, no.
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. He got 29 yards that time. Big hook up there, forced to throw it on 3rd down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. The fourth quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football.
No chance to get away there for Smith as he goes down. Calais Campbell in there to drop him, and his great season continues. 13 sacks for him now on the year. Third and long, it's Smith. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And this is, oh my goodness, he pulled it in one-handed. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal. It's first and goal, and a late touchdown at this stage could officially salt this one away. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. It's first and goal, and a late touchdown at this stage could officially salt this one away. Guys, they'll try to run it. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ballgame. Throwing now, Smith. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Well, they've been so good on third down all day long. Can they convert another here on third and goal? A first carry for Samaje Perine. And they'll go backwards here, losing yardage to the 14. So on fourth down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. And that is no good. He pulled it just a bit, just a wee bit wide left. And this score will stay right where it is.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
Back to throw. He goes underneath for Yeldon. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup, and it'll bring up a second down. Clock running, about to hit 90 seconds to go in the game. He's back to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Bortles to Cole for the Jacksonville first. First down now, but the clock continues to move. Back to throw. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. T.J. Yeldon, the one he was looking for. That'll bring up second down. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark, really, start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down. He'll look to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked up by D.J. Swearinger. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding. Defense.
Wait a second. They did not accept that after the incompletion. Your look is just as puzzled as mine.
I got nothing for you here. You have to take that penalty, don't you?
It's free yards. They'll go ahead and take the knee here, and the unbeaten season will continue.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right, just us against the world, and get it done, how happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something, and they did in this one. Football League, Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who.